Things with Julie and Brad, everybody. We are ecstatic and honored and all the things to have Dr. Michelle Hu here with us today of Mama Who Hears. You'll find her across all social media platforms. Her website, her work is amazing, and she has been a gigantic inspiration for us and has informed our work going forward. And we are just thrilled that you took the time to be here with us today, and just want to thank you on behalf of us and our audience. This is such a treat, and we are so happy that you were able to make time for us. Thank you for everything you've done for the deaf and hard of hearing community, for families of children with hearing loss, and for us. We've learned a lot from your account and continue to as we go along. So if you want to take a minute and just introduce yourself, and we always like to share our hearing loss terms as well. So I'll just go first. Mine's controversial. I still use hearing impaired, and again, it was from the terminology that was used when I was diagnosed in 1978. It's the term my family used, medical providers used, and it's just something I just feel comfortable with still, though I recognize greatly the problematic use and meaning and interpretation of that word, and how that is really quite demeaning, using that word impaired, and it's a very personal choice. But for me, it just fits right. But when I refer to us collectively, I use hard of hearing.
Right. Yeah,
so I've started to make that shift in the past year or two.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because that's the term I use is hard of hearing. And I think, Julie, you always like to challenge people. So I think it fits your personality that you use a term that's challenged. So what about you, Mama Who? What do you use?
All right. My name's Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I've had conversations with you guys before, so it's just like, hey, I'm going to hang out with Julie and Brad again. So I'm happy to be here. I typically use the word deaf now, which is very new, maybe in the last couple of years, or hard of hearing, really depending on the audience that I'm with. So if I'm with patients, I will say I'm hard of hearing most of the time, especially if they are using spoken language and open to using devices.
Sure.
Because I will say I'm clinically deaf, so my thresholds are well beyond 90 decibels. I would feel a fire truck before I would hear it without my devices. So when I'm talking with patients or parents, I say hard of hearing because I do benefit from devices. Growing up, I use hearing impaired. When I'm with patients and I'm talking with them, especially adult patients, I'll use hearing impaired because that's what they relate to and that's what they resonate with, just like you, Julie. Most of them have had normal hearing their whole life, and then their hearing became impaired, you know, or maybe you can use the word later deafened if they want to do that. And there was an amazing conference called ALDACON, Association of Later Deafened Adults, and they have their conference. You don't have to be later deafened, but it is, it's like a conference/retreat almost, because everything is inclusive. All of the rooms are looped. Everything is either captioned or interpreted there. And it's a party. There's deaf karaoke with balloons so that you can feel the beat. You can feel the vibrations of the music. And it's not wild, but it's just wild to me because, hello, this is a situation where I'm not the minority here.
Sure.
You know, it's super, super fun. So yeah, I use deaf, hard of hearing for myself, depending on the audience that I'm with. If I'm with hearing people, I'll use deaf because I'm clinically deaf. I'm deaf with cochlear implants. If I'm with deaf ASL users, I'll say I'm hard of hearing because I'm not fluent in sign, and I do not resonate super closely with deaf culture, not having grown up using ASL my whole life.
Great, thank you. So if you could tell us a little bit about your hearing loss story. So was it something from childhood? Was it from birth? Was it later in life? You give our audience and us a little bit of your background. That would be great.
Yeah. So I was identified when I was about 3 to 4 years old. My preschool teacher told my mom, Mrs. Who, your daughter, Michelle, she's going off during story time. She's not disrupting anything. She's not being bad. She's just kind of sneaking off on her own in the corner with a book where she's humming to herself. I think she's not hearing me when I'm reading the story to the rest of the class. My mom was like, are you sure? Like, Michelle's chattering in English and Chinese at home. She is so social. What are you talking about? She thought they were talking about my brother, who kind of just hangs out with his toys, video games, stuff like that. And I was found to have a mild hearing loss or mild hearing levels in both ears. And mild is super tricky. Mild can fly under the radar.
Sure.
You can get by watching and being observant with your surroundings. You can pretend that you know what was said if you caught maybe some of it. But you can miss up to 50% of what's going on in the classroom with mild hearing levels. The cause of my hearing loss is something called enlarged vestibular aqueduct, or EVAS syndrome, and Pendred syndrome. So two syndromes, both of which are correlated with progressive hearing loss. But for me, every time I bumped my head, maybe bumping a kid in the playground, or one time I had a super severe cough, I think I blew a fistula, or just the pressure in my head, my hearing would drop. I'd go to my parents the next morning. Mommy, I can't hear. That, sends them into a whole tizzy. We go to get hearing tested. And sometimes they thought it was cochlear eye drops, like related to fluid retention or sensitivity in their body. They thought, I don't know what they thought. Back then, they didn't have the technology to find out what it was. By the age of 10, I had gone all the way to severe to profound hearing levels. And I didn't know this back then, but they had told my parents, Michelle's probably a cochlear implant candidate. My parents weren't ready because technology didn't make them feel good. And they thought, well, she's getting good grades in school. She's fine, right? They don't know how hard I was working. Right. And I use the analogy of that duck floating across the water. I have a duck on my book right here. Yeah. There we go. Where the duck is floating and swimming across the water, calm, cool, and collected, but paddling fiercely underwater. Yep, exactly. Maybe I should get a duck tattoo. I don't know. I like that one. But so when it wasn't until graduate school, when I was 26, maybe 27, I thought I learned about cochlear implants. I ran home. I'm like, Dad, did you know this was an option? And he goes, yeah, we did. We didn't think that you need it. But if you think that it's something that would benefit you, you're still under our insurance. I was 26. You're still under our insurance. Go for it if you want to. And I was like, yeah, I want to try. I just want to see. So I implanted my left, or my worst threshold ear, and started that journey on cochlear implantation and having that kind of sound. And then 3 years later, I got a second one when I realized I had a no-show patient. So I told my student, hey, test me in the booth. Let's just see the difference in thresholds with my CI ear and my hearing aid ear. My right ear, which had carried me throughout my whole life, I realized was not as good and not as sensitive as that left CI ear. Wow. I'm like, man, I'm telling patients 2 ears are better than one. And I didn't do it myself. Who am I kidding? So I decided to implant that second side, and each one was a different journey. Each one sounded different, felt different for me. And I really appreciate when you meet one deaf or hard of hearing person, you've met one deaf or hard of hearing person. Absolutely. Everybody has different needs. Everybody has different thresholds. Everybody has different tolerances, ways they want to communicate, ways that they identify, and even between two ears. So I also say, when you have one deaf or hard of hearing person in your family, you become a deaf or hard of hearing family.
Yep.
Like my kids know, if mom's not answering, you probably didn't hear me. What do I need to do so that my message was received? Because communication isn't just, well, I told you, Brad, but you didn't hear me. Communication is also, Brad, did you get my message? Right. Did you receive that?
Right.
Okay, that's me taking responsibility for my message to you.
Right. So. That's great. It's such a good point, right? Communication takes two, right? It takes two. Both parties need to be involved in it. That's a fascinating story. I think that with your repeated trips to the audiologist over the course of your childhood, is that what drew you to audiology as a profession yourself, or is it something else?
It was more senior year of college. I had another job. I had a severe cough and woke up, couldn't hear, started crying. This was the first time it really scared me. So when I was little, I was like, I still have mom, dad, I still have food, I still have toys, like this is just happening to me. Senior year was when I was like, I was going to go to law school. I was going to, get married and find a high paying job right out of school somehow and, marry my current boyfriend. I thought, am I going to hear I love you ever again? Am I going to hear music? And we're sitting in the waiting room. My mom goes, Michelle, you might make a good audiologist because you get it. I'm like, cool. I could use what's already in me here and here to help other people in this journey. Maybe I love not reinventing the wheel. I love standing upon shoulders. I love being somebody for something. I love being steps for other people to stand on my shoulders. Because if I can give you all these shortcuts to go here, man, you could go there. And that is like paying it forward for me. I love camaraderie. I love teamwork. I love working together, even though humans aren't built to work together. We're not built to work in group situations because nobody is going to do it your way. When you get out of your own way, you can think, okay, what is their mission? What is their goal? Can I empower you to do your forte? Can I empower you to do what you're really strong at? Can I empower you because you love doing this? And then come together. That final project will have so much of people's different personal personal, I'm trying to say, personal flavors. And it's that much better.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love that story. And I'm sitting here and I resonate so deeply with it because I too thought I was going to go to law school and ended up with a special education teacher because I knew, I was like, wait a minute. Again, that epiphany, my advisor said to me, he said, why aren't you in special education? And I said, I never thought of it. He said, you're perfect for it because you know what it's like. You're bringing that knowledge and experience to kids that desperately need that role model. So when I heard that you're a pediatric audiologist with hearing loss, it blew my mind because it never occurred to me that medicine would be a path that I could have taken. I just always felt it was closed off to me just by the nature of my hearing loss. So tell me more about being a pediatric audiologist who also has hearing loss. What types of accommodations do you have in place? I mean, I'm so curious because I almost was a speech therapist and I was like, I can't trust myself to speak clearly or to make sure that I'm hearing the kids correctly.
That's society telling us that we can't do something.
Exactly.
That's autism right there. You want to get into heavy words, autism.
Yep.
It exists.
100%.
And it can also exist internally. I was internally autist for most of my life.
Same.
Now it's like, ugh, I don't want to say that. I don't want people to know that.
Sure.
But I was. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I went into audiology. Because I thought that hearing was better than not hearing.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'm going to fix everybody else that is hard of hearing. Now I'm like, everybody who's hard of hearing, you're great. What kind of flavors do you want to add to the world?
Sure.
Space, NASA wouldn't exist without the Gallaudet 7.
Sure.
Right? Studying the imbalances of your ear, of your cochlea. Closed captions, subtitles, they wouldn't exist without deaf or hard of hearing people.
Sure.
I know that. What do they say? You are nothing about us without us.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? And all of these things, special little details, closed captioning, or lights that pulse with music, all of those different things wouldn't exist without the lack of something, the absence of a sense, because that was created to help others. Right? What was the question? How did I get into
I
audiology?
was curious. What accommodations do you have in place, if any, in your work as a pediatric audiologist?
Okay. Let's see. When I went to grad school, kind of super funny because one, two, three people ahead of me kind of paved the path at my audiology program. Karen M. Lux was the first deaf person to go through my audiology program in Ohio. Following her was a woman named Carrie Spangler. Carrie Spangler now is the current executive director of ACIA, the American Cochlear Implant Association. She grew up 10 minutes away from me, and I never met her until a couple of years ago.
Sure.
But after her was Stacy Lim, somebody that I had met. She went through and became an audiologist as well. And then I came along, and we're all, I think, 4 years apart,
Wow.
like younger. It's so fun because nobody told me that I couldn't, but
Yeah.
so many people told them ahead of me.
Sure.
How can you be an audiologist? You can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what the hell are you doing going into this profession then? You know, but representation matters.
Yes.
People who have broken limbs, orthopedic surgeons, or people who are going through cancer, they will feel so much more heard and so much better served if they have providers that get it. I gravitate towards people of color, towards people who may have immigrant parents,
Sure.
because they get the way that I was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
They get why, I don't know, I just take what is so and I just deal with it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like some of my friends or some of my friends' kids are like dwelling on, let's circle around those emotions, those emotions. Okay, there's a time and place to absolutely be with those emotions. And then there's a time and place to put it aside and make something good out of it.
Exactly.
Why? Life is too short, you know?
True.
Anyway, the accommodations that I used when I was an audiologist and audiology student. What is difficult for somebody who is deaf or hard of hearing to do as an audiologist is listening to speech perception testing,
Yes.
is listening to other people's devices.
Mm-hmm.
How did I do that? In grad school, I had a boyfriend who was an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He created something that would work with my telecoil program. Back then I had hearing aids. And I was able to plug onto the person's ear mold or their hearing aid and then send the signal directly there. So bypassing basically the hearing aid's acoustic, going through a tube, turning it into electric, sound from the hearing aid through the tube, playing into my hearing aids. So that's acoustic, and then electric, and then acoustic again because the hearing aid is turning it down my tube. Was too much. It would distort the sound. And how would I know if it's the integrity of my device or of that hearing aid? This way, you could bypass the tube part. It would bypass the acoustic part from my hearing aid to my ear because it would directly go to my hearing aid through telecoil. That was one thing. And there's more technology that is available now to be able to do that. It's janky. It's like the prototype that I used during grad school, but that was super appreciated. Listening to the sound booth when we're calibrating it in the morning would be difficult for me. I would always have a buddy. I would have a buddy who had normal hearing and they would listen to it. I can push the buttons, do all of that. Because technically it would be a liability, right? You have somebody who's hard of hearing. What are you doing calibrating the sound booth? But isn't it a liability too if you have somebody normal hearing? What if they have a cold that day?
Oh,
You don't know.
interesting.
Yeah, all these different things. But I feel like my lived experience and I would say my ability to relate to patients and be really present to them, as well as my ability to put things into layman terms,
Okay.
is what helped fuel me and serve me as a provider for other patients. When I have audiology students, one of the first things that I do is I tell them, your appointment starts the moment their name comes out of your mouth. Because the tone and how you deliver their name is going to lay down the foundation for their appointment, especially in pediatrics.
Yes.
If you're like, Brad, your turn, come back. You're like, I don't like that guy.
Right.
If it's like, hey, Brad, you ready to come back and play with me? That kid's like, who's that? How do they know my name? We're going to go play. That's a whole
Yeah.
different appointment
Different message.
right there. How you relate it to them. I also have my grad students explain an audiogram and do a case history with 0 medical terms.
Oh, great.
I want you to explain that audiogram to your 6-year-old little brother.
Yep.
And I want your 60-year-old little brother to be able to explain my right ear can't hear as good as my left ear. Some sounds are fuzzy, some sounds are loud, some sounds are soft. Okay, great. I want you to be able to do that for them so that they can understand and really take ownership of their disability, of their audiogram.
Awesome.
That's
Because as a
great.
provider, a lot of people, like in healthcare, a lot of people are used to the expert talking at them and just telling them what to do. But if we can empower us as the patient
Yeah.
to take ownership of it, I tell patients, my hope is that I can educate you and empower you so that you don't have to come back to me as much. I love seeing you, but I want so that you feel good. Kind of like what is it? You don't provide a man with fish, you teach him how to fish or something. What is it?
Oh yeah, you can
Teach
give
a
a
man to
man a
fish.
fish and he'll eat for a day, but if you teach a man to
Yes,
fish, he'll eat for a lifetime, something like that.
right.
Yep.
That one. I want to be able to give them
Right.
that. And I now that I think about it, I think my social media serves that purpose.
Sure.
I can stay at home, you guys can still feel empowered, and we all win,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
I'm all about every party winning. I don't need to get ahead of you. You don't need to get ahead of me. Go on your own
Absolutely.
path.
That's great.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
is that how Mama Who got started? Is trying to like empower other people and just using the channels available to you?
Yeah, I was on my second maternity leave and COVID started.
Oh,
Oh
My
jeez.
jeez.
husband was gone for supposed to be 5 days, but they kept him out at sea for 5 weeks. And I had a 6-month-old and like a whatever 16 months plus that is, 22-year-old who never, both of them wanted to be carried all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I was strung out. But then during those evenings when everyone's sleeping, like I miss the patients that I worked with, but I don't want to go in because COVID, right? But I miss the parents that I talked to.
Sure.
I loved that I could serve a purpose and um, I could serve a purpose and make a difference for families
Mm-hmm.
just because I was born and just because I was in the room with them.
Sure.
It was like, okay, how can I help patients, more than 8 to 10 patients a day, but be at home? I'm like, I'm going to share on social media. My friend, a couple of my friends are in nutrition and they had big followings. And I said, share, like you have so much to talk about. I'm going to run out of things to say. They're like, Michelle, you probably won't run out of things to
That's
say.
true.
And I started sharing. I said, I'll try it for a year. If I still have fun, maybe I'll try to make it into something where I can make a career out of it or make a business out of it.
Sure.
Because anytime money comes in, I feel like it kind of makes it not fun, you know?
Sure.
But that year was good because there were nights where I got to create content every night. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. It gave me space to not do it. And I think having my kids um, allowed made it so that I wouldn't burn out because
Mm-hmm.
one of my core values is family, fun, or my core values are family, fun, and communication. So when I would give up Mama Who Hears or my business in a heartbeat for my family,
Sure.
right? And it makes me think, well, I'm not going to do those interviews, podcast interviews, or those conferences because my kid has a birthday, my kid has a performance, whatever it is. Like right now, my kids are in an after school activity that was already planned. I'm like, I can schedule it then.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that it allows, I make Mama Who Hears rotate around that core value. And it makes everybody win,
That's
right?
huge.
Fantastic.
So,
That's a great story.
yeah.
That's a wonderful
But
backstory.
anyway, I created that,
I
and
always
it just
wondered.
kind of blew up.
That's a wonderful backstory. I always wondered how
Yeah.
you started and what kind of prompted that. That's fantastic.
I mean, it's blown up to like
it's
this
awesome.
live
It's amazing.
thing of its own over
It's
here.
It's amazing. You've
It's
done a
pretty
great
cool.
job. I love the platform you've built. It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal, and it's so accessible, and
Yeah.
like you said, it's clear,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun,
Right.
it's concrete for people. Like I
Yeah.
wish my parents had Mama Who Hears
Same.
back in
That's
1978.
what I created it for.
You
I
know,
kind of
like,
created it for
I
like
wish
my
they had that.
mom.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, our parents didn't have social media.
nothing.
My mom had church, and she had my school principal,
Yeah,
and she had a lady that found her at the library.
yep.
And she saw your kid has hearing aids. Mine does too. You want to hang out or get together?
Yeah, my parents figured it out. They were both
Yeah.
educators themselves, which helped. So they had access to like speech therapists and got guidance that way from a pediatrician as well. But they were on their own. I mean, they were remarkable with what they did. But I would have loved to have had a resource like you around to just
Right?
direct them
Right.
to. You know, it's phenomenal. And your
Yeah.
mom too.
So I mean, that's kind of what I
Yes,
use.
she could.
I
Right.
think about like what would my mom have
Right.
benefited from
Yeah.
back
Sure.
then? What do our kids nowadays need? I don't
Amazing.
know if that's where I came up with the pajamas. Like, I just want something cool and comfortable that can start a conversation.
Yep.
That's a
Ooh,
good
let's
point.
do bamboo pajamas because they're soft, you know? And it just kind of goes
Interesting.
from there. My
Yeah.
next thing right now is conversation cards.
I've seen those. Those are great.
Here, in conversation cards, it's
Yep.
going to be a different box, but I call it More Than Words, kind of like that song. And I've done different
That's
questions
So cool.
for kids or peers just like us
Yep.
to talk about listening fatigue. Talking about
the big
that's
one.
huge.
What does death mean to you? This one. Who do you love signing with most and why? I'm like, what if they don't sign? Okay. What do you like or not like about your hearing devices?
This is great.
Love it. Those
So
are great.
I'm really excited about these. They're
I love
printing.
it. And those are conversations that you and I never had
No.
because we were on our
Exactly.
own. I had no
Mhm.
peers,
The
I had no
parents
family
didn't
members with
know.
hearing loss, nothing.
Right.
It's great.
It's a phenomenal. I have to tell you, your other merchandise that I love, love, love is your rash guards for pool safety and water safety. I mean, again, I was in the water all the time as a
Yeah.
kid. It would have helped so
Oh.
much with my own anxiety and my
That's
parents'
so
anxiety with me
great.
in the pools and on the beach and everything. Fantastic. Fantastic.
I mean, I'm coming up with Spanish. I've been getting a lot of requests to
Oh.
put
Yeah,
it
oh,
in Spanish.
great.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
It's amazing.
I mean, merchandise is something I never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would go
When you're
into.
feeling such a need,
Yeah.
all of your products are functional and there's
Mm-hmm.
space for them. There's a needed space. I mean, I get excited every time
Mm-hmm.
I wander over there and I go, oh, let's see what she has. Let's go around. Let's go see. It's
get-
amazing.
Gets people talking. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's great.
That's why
Thank
we're
you
doing it,
so
right?
much.
It's like get these conversations going because you gotta talk about it. Just have to keep talking about it.
Absolutely. So one of our final thoughts, and it's probably an impossible question to answer, but if you had to pick one piece of advice to give parents of children that are hard of hearing, what would it be? I mean, how do you even narrow that down to one? But what would be one of your favorite things to say? I guess.
Can I have two?
Yeah, have two. I'll give you two.
Okay. The first one is your child is exactly how they are supposed to be.
Oh,
And it's only the label that's changed.
I love that.
Absolutely.
You know. So
Absolutely.
my mom, she was crying one day and I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like 3 or 4. She goes, I wish I could take your hearing loss for you.
Oh.
And now as a mom, I get it, right? But back then I was like, what if this is how I'm supposed to be?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And it's so crazy because she read that, or I've shared this with her, or maybe she read, I don't know. I think she read it. And she was like, I get why you were supposed to go through that
Sure.
because look at how you are now. And I'm like,
It's true.
and my dad shared this story. I got to go on a mission trip to China. I shared my dad with the parents, He thought he was just coming to help translate. I stuck him with the parents and he told his story. Dads never get to share their story, I feel like, in Chinese with parents of newly identified kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells how I was just a happy kid. So he's like, I let my daughter, be happy. Who am I to dampen her light kind of thing? And at the end of the story, like all these parents are sobbing, right? Like super strong, like Asian tiger moms. He goes, and that kid, there she is, but in the back of the room. That's my kid now. And they're like, and she's okay.
Oh.
My dad's like really proud of me, even though he thought I was broken, like, or you just think of your parents like they were hard on me or they pushed me or they did,
Yeah.
and I'm like, he's talking about his kid. I'm his kid. So your kid is exactly the way they are and exactly in the right place that they're supposed to be right now.
I love that.
I feel like when I say that to parents, it takes away the pressure that they're putting on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you go home from the hospital, you have this human, you're like, what am I supposed to do? You're going to let me out with this kid? I felt that with every single one of my kids. Like, I'm supposed to take that car seat with me? Like, what do I do? The second piece of advice that I live by is meet them where they're at.
Yes.
And this applies everywhere. It applies in clinic. I tell my student clinicians, meet yourself where you're at. You're nervous.
Sure.
You're scared to counsel wrong. You're scared to make a mistake. Nothing in audiology is life or death. Meet them where they're at. Meet your patients where you're at. They're nervous. They don't know anything, so they're grasping for anything. Meet yourself where you're at as a parent. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time to grieve. Meet your patient who has autism where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
That sound booth is scary as hell.
Yes, it is.
I'm freaking out because I have nothing to hold. Give them something that they can hold on to and control,
100%.
which is where I back up and say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's pretend that this is the telephone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to look in your teddy bear's ear. So they know it's going to end at 5.
Yeah.
They know that it's not going to hurt. And they know teddy bear is okay now. They know it's my turn. And they're going to look in. I'm going to look in for 2 seconds and I'm going to back away. So giving people something that they can grasp is something that really helps. So meet them where they're at, and your kid is
Love it.
just exactly the way they
I
Fantastic.
love it. That's phenomenal. I'm taking that and I'm putting it in my own practice as a special educator because
Yeah.
the ideas that I try and convey, and I love how you phrase that. So I'm gonna.
What
bring a
brings
little
up that
Mama Who
post
into
that
my
you
classroom.
mentioned?
What's that?
What? Oh, little mama in your classroom. It brings up that post that you mentioned, the one about does your deaf or hard of hearing child interrupt constantly? Well, how about meeting them where they're at?
Right.
They're trying to, like, 3 people, they're talking. Why are they laughing? I don't know why they're laughing. What is that sound? Oh, it's too loud. Oh my gosh, it's too bright. I can't see your lips. Like, all those things that are going on where hearing people just have conversations like almost automatically.
I love it.
Meet yourself where you're at.
Great stuff.
It's awesome.
Great stuff. So,
That's awesome.
to end things, we always like to show that we are more than just our hearing loss. And I'm a librarian. She's a teacher. So we like to end every episode with book recommendations.
Okay.
So, Michelle, do you have one?
Oh, I'm reading Be Like Water. Be Like something. It's by Bruce Lee's daughter.
Oh, cool.
Is it called Be Like? Let's see. Be Like Water?
Shannon?
I don't know. It's by the daughter. Be Like Water or Be Water, My Friend. Pretty
Fantastic.
cool.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. It's just I don't have that's the excuse. I was gonna say I don't have much time to read, but I keep getting distracted and haven't picked it up as often as I'd like to.
That's great.
Or can I recommend my husband's book?
Go for it.
This is actually really good.
What is it?
So my husband is a retired naval officer.
No kidding. Thank you for
And-
your service. That's great.
Yeah. He did 22 years in the Navy, and he loves to run. He started listening to leadership podcasts, and he created this. It's a daily reader, so 366 entries, and he takes a leadership quote and
Oh,
he puts the quote in there. He describes like what he thinks the author was meaning for that
yeah.
quote, and he applies it to a real life situation in the Navy. And this applies to everywhere in life. But it's great because I can just read one page a day, one paragraph, and then you have something to work with,
Yeah.
say, for the rest of your day or for the rest of your week.
That's
You know,
awesome.
it's kind of like, okay, for example, no, I don't like that one. Trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. So if I
That's awesome.
trust that you're looking out for me and the whole team, there's a leadership Navy example, then I trust that your intentions are good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I trust my team. I'm gonna listen and just do what he says, even though the tone of his voice was like bossy or something like that, or like, you know, and that's kind of how it is with like family. Like, if my kids can trust my word,
Sure.
they will listen to me in emergency.
Yes.
Stop right there and
Yes.
not even question. They will just freeze their body, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
But if they don't trust me, they're
Right.
gonna keep right on walking.
Right.
That's awesome.
Really
That sounds
cool.
really
I
good.
look forward to checking
That's
that
a
out.
good book that I get to
That's
share.
awesome. I
This
love it.
one I do pick up because it's
Sure.
one
Sure.
paragraph and I can put it down and
Love
not
it.
feel so bad.
Great idea for a book.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's cool. All
Yeah.
right. Have to
So
check that out.
what do you got?
So a little deviation from my normal
Oh.
stuff. The Heroin Diaries
Oh.
by Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. Little wild of a choice, unexpected. Looking at this preppy,
Seriously?
girl over here, but
Is it like Basketball Diaries?
no, it's a true story of his account with heroin addiction. So it really gets into
Yeah,
the
like
mind
Basketball
of an
Diaries.
addict.
Is it? Oh.
You know that Leonardo DiCaprio
DiCaprio?
movie?
I've never
I
seen
didn't know
it.
that. I knew it was a movie at one time, right?
Yeah.
It's about heroin addiction.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
We're putting some connections together here.
No kidding. Okay, so now I know what that is. 'Cause I remember that movie came out a long time ago.
Long
I
time
never
ago.
paid attention to it because basketball.
Like
you know,
20
all
years
together.
ago. Yeah.
Never took the time to look at.
Right.
Now we know. So there's my next pick.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I have addiction hits every family and everyone
Yeah.
in your life. Everybody has some connection to addiction, unfortunately, at some point in your journey. And for me, it resonates personally with a family member, and it really gave me insight into the addicted mind and the struggle and how it's more than just. It's really not a willful choice.
Right.
And it is an illness and very,
Wow.
very powerful, very moving, very well done, which you wouldn't expect from, somebody from Motley Crue, right? But it's one of the better
It
books
helps
I've
you
read.
get into their
It
shoes.
really resonated deeply with me, and it helped me understand
That's
quite a
awesome.
few things. It was
Wow,
good.
because like it's not this person trying to be a troublemaker.
Right.
No,
It's this person that's not in control of their life or their body or their mind.
Right.
definitely.
Helps
Really
meet them where they are.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to change things up again. My book is Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. So it's a fiction
Okay.
book. So it's the story of a human that was raised by Martians that comes back to Earth. And so he's one of the big sci-fi writers. And so it's thought-provoking for sure. So if you've heard of, so it's called X now, right? Twitter is now called
Oh, yeah.
X, and
Yeah.
Elon created an AI, and his AI is called Grok, Grok, and so it comes from this book. And this book,
Oh, no way.
to grok something is to understand it on almost like a genetic level, so deeper than the conscious mind. So that's where grok comes from. Is this book? And so I loved it. I read it
Wow.
years ago, and so it's I'm a big sci-fi guy, so I figured I'd go back
Okay.
to sci-fi.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you guys read books like regularly?
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Nice. Man, I'm
We have-
jealous.
We have time, I guess. We don't have little
kids.
I read children's books all the
that
time.
counts.
That's right. That counts.
We're super into
That counts.
fairies and dinosaurs over here.
Nice.
Cool.
That's
Awesome. Great.
Well,
Thanks for sharing the books with me.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for sharing the books with me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for sharing everything with us and your time and your knowledge and everything you've done and continue to do. You've filled an unbelievable void that I don't think any of us really realized was missing. Truly. I mean, just your work is tremendous, and I can't say I'm totally fangirling out right now. I'm sorry, but I just it means the world to me.
Yeah, we can't thank you enough. You've been a huge inspiration for us. We want to do a fraction of what you're doing, just to get the conversations going.
Just one step in front of the other. Keep going. Keep
Absolutely.
going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's hang out again. Let's meet
do
up
it.
somewhere and chat. And yeah, you know what we can do? We can use a no caption video.
Love it.
Because now they can caption video
Yes.
calls.
Yes.
Let's do it. We'll set up a time. We'll love that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Well,
Thanks
thank
for
you
having me.
again.
Michelle. So good to see you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.